So essentially, I just wanted to quickly see, I mean, the first thing that actually came into my mind, and if that gives people cues, is that you're talking of Aryans, Dravidians, and Adivasis. And that's there as a subtext on the cover of your book. So you mentioned that very blatantly, divider or unifier. What do you have to say about that?
They're all unified. First of all, so my son studies in USA, and he's a science student. But they are made to study history compulsory in 12th grade, and that also not normal history. Like that's a really good advanced history. So I was asking him, can you check with your professor if there is a concept called Aryan Dravidian civilization in the world history? Yeah, because I would assume that USA and all, and especially Western country, will have really good books. And the teacher said there is no such concept. Then I checked in anthropology. There is no race as such. So it was all, and you guys should research more. It all came during some last 2 years of colonial history where this concept was put. And the way this tool was used, it was used to divide our society. So I'm saying it is a unifier. And mostly you guys would have heard about North India, South India divide, North Mizrahian, South Dravidian, which is all wrong. It's all BS. I don't agree. Sorry for my word. I don't agree to that. And I have supported with the logic because we all came from one South Indian woman 60,000 years back. That is what current knowledge of science tells. And I'm from North. Okay. And again, I'm telling you based on what I have researched. Okay. I did my own genetics test because I am from the eastern part of India. I thought, okay, maybe some lineage will go to Africa, but it didn't go to Africa. Rather, it went to a Scandinavian country. 8%. Nobody from my family for 5 generations would have even stepped outside. I guess even I think they would have gone to Nepal maximum or Sri Lanka. So it's an interesting thing, and then that's where these knowledge should be tied with a lot of scientific evidence, and scientific evidence also, guys, it could be manipulated. So I am part of IT. I understand big data. I understand all the data thing, but data can always be manipulated the way you write the algorithm and the code to tell you whether the glass is half empty or half full. Gives two different perspectives with the same data, which is 50% of water. So what I'm trying to say is the logic can play a lot of things, and that is where in the West, the entire history and science, everything came only in 200 years. Before that, the world is 4.5 billion years old, right? So it doesn't mean nothing existed before. So that is what I'm trying to say, that and Aryan, Dravidian, and the last thing, Adivasis. Well, to me, Adivasis are the indigenous people. The first people, the new research says, most of there is a tribe in Kerala, it's called Irulu tribe, and they thought, and they are dark and they look like African, but when they did the genetic analysis, they didn't find any lineage from Africa. They said they are there's a word for Caucasian and some mix. So and these the Iruru tribes had some connection with the the Dravidians, and then from Proto-Dravidian, the Tamilians and all those things happened. So what I'm saying is we were indigenous, and we so questioning kind of out of Africa model, and then more research needs to be done. I'm not saying I'm concluding it, but I'm not also buying that this is the only truth. And a lot of interesting facts are available, so which will surprise you if you have some interest in this area, because eventually everybody wants to know who they are. If however rich you become, however successful you become, your identity is important if you go anywhere, and to know yourself is nothing wrong. Okay, people will say that I'm coming to your history thing. Whether history is relevant, why should I read history? I'm a science student, I'm a journalist, I'm a medical student. History is important for you because it's not just a date and a story of a case. It is about you. where you came from. That's how I see. And
Would you therefore call history the great unifier?
it is. It is the unifier. It's a.
As sorry, I was asking you, would you call history the great unifier as a result, as a subject?
Yeah, history is. I studied history only in 10th grade, and then I did my engineering and my management. But when I went to West, when I'm asked question who I am, and it's very hard for me to explain in one line or two line, and then my mind start thinking, who am I? Just by saying I'm Indian from this part, they don't understand this. They have lot of things, and that's where all this interest happened, and I started writing.
You are 1 minute.
Please, sure.
You are talking of history, the way it is being taught in schools and colleges. Sorry. The way it is being taught in schools and colleges. Do they go into the origin of civilization, and is the sort of history that is being taught, at least as far as India is concerned, they still teach you something about Vikramaditya or Akbar the Great or whomsoever it is in historical. Otherwise, they don't go into the genesis of human race, human civilization. Nothing is being taught. What is your opinion on that? Have you mentioned it in your? Thank you.
Thank you so much for that.
So, the way it is taught, that's where the fight is going on, right? I had different book launches, and there were a lot of senior bureaucrats, like Bhaskar Rao was an IPS, but the IAS officers who were really, really senior, and their understanding of India is 1947 and the Constitution of India only. They don't want to go back. I was surprised to hear Bhaskar sir going to ancient time, and even that lady was mentioning about that. But I had a very different experience when I talked to a few people in Delhi, and these are all Macaulay's generation people who have only known India from certain perspective, and that's where, yes, we should be reading about civilization, and civilization is a work in progress. Nobody knows how it happened, and nobody, even Nobel laureate cannot tell this is how it has happened. That's why I was giving the example of those professors I have met who are actually in a nomination for those. So even they don't have a real answer. So yes, for India, civilization should be taught. Our music, right? We have such a rich tradition. All these things give you a strength. What is your character? When you say you build your character, build your integrity, right? A lot of things, even in corporate world, it's not only the subject. So people, with the dwindling of the jobs, all your jobs will be taken by machine. That's what we are told, right? Artificial intelligence, blockchain, IoT, all your jobs will be gone. So what will make you different? Your soft skill, like and these are the skills, your civilization, who you are. So yeah, our history is not taught in a right way, right? And that's where my book is trying to very small, I'm no one, but I'm just taking a small step by introducing that,
That was precisely my point. History is not being taught the way it should be.
Correct.
And history again, coming to history again, I am telling you, history is a very relative thing. It is, personal stories. See what according to the Thapar, what is her name?
Romila Thapar.
Romila Thapar is not what is correct according to MGS Narayanan.
Correct. Correct.
So there is no definite history as such.
Correct.
There is, that way, I wonder, what is the use in learning history as it is being taught by Thapar or as it is being taught by MGS Narayanan? It's not, it's not very concluding. So what is concluding is your history about civilization, how the civilization has grown up in this country, in other countries, how it has grown up. That will be a better approach to learning of history.
Correct.
See, Vikramaditya might have killed, thousands of people. It doesn't matter. It doesn't matter today. How many people he has killed, that is not at all an issue as far as the present generation is concerned. And another thing, one more thing. This is a different topic as well. I don't know whether you touched on how old the civilization, I will talk it as Sanatan said, civilization, not Hindu as a Sanatan civilization. How old is it, and how much deeply they have gone into the origin of Earth, about its the chronology of events in cosmic events. These issues have you gone into? That's my doubt. I mean, for example, I got a book called Cosmos by Carl Sagan. He is a modern scientist, cosmologist. I think he is still very much there. And he has written that there is no religion. Of course, he has quoted in the sense that it is Hinduism. But maybe people may not be liking, like to call it as Hinduism, but Sanatan. Sanatan Hindus have gone into this question of origin of Earth, your Big Bang theory. What is the actual era in which really happened? And according to him, what has been written in the mythologies of Hindu philosophy or Sanatan philosophy tallies with modern scientists. It is 8.3 some point that many billion years ago this has originated. This Big Bang theory has related to. Have you gone into those practices?
So thank you. That was a very good, I would say not question, but statement, suggestion, and also a question. So yes, there is a scholar, Mr. Subhash Kak. If you read his book, he's a scientist. He's in Oklahoma University. He's a I think a dean professor or emerite professor. And he is a scientist in US school, and he also writes on the Vedas and cosmology and mind and matter. And one of the examples he gave, and I have quoted, and in fact Subhashji was supposed to write forward, but after getting his Padma Shri, he said, Sharad, I have come out with a policy where, I'm no more writing a forward for people. So this was exactly like 1 week before I reached out to him, he got Padma Shri. So that spoiled my, but anyway, I am his good friend, we interact. So he said that there is a gentleman, so quantum, hello, yeah. So we all know that the quantum theory came from Mr. Albert Einstein, but there was, yeah. Hello, I'm fine, hello.
Yeah, it's on.
Okay. Okay. Let me finish and then I'll. Sure. People will leave. Okay. So quantum theory not only came from Einstein, but he was supported by a gentleman called Schrödinger, and he also said that mind and matter and consciousness. The consciousness part is not in the science; it is only in the Vedas, and so he has given a very good interpretation of all those things, and you should read that. So you talked about cosmology and all, so he has given. As far as whether I have covered it, mine, I have touched it. I have definitely touched it, but I have not deep dive because I had so many topics to cover. Sanatan to me is not Hinduism. There is nothing called Hinduism came from Persian kings, right? Persia is Hindu, and all those things. So Sanatan is a way of life. I don't take it as a religion. If you see this Harappa culture, 5,000 years before there was no Christianity, no Islam, even no Hinduism the way we know. Nothing was there. But the Harappan statue, 5,000 years ago, the lady had a vermilion, lady had certain thing. So whether you become, faith could be anything. Today I can be a Muslim, but that we all came from that culture, civilization. So Sanatan is a way of life, and those things were way of life. That's how we proceeded. Like the dancing lady with the vermilion. She was not representing any faith, right? 3,000, 5,000 BC before, they found an Iceman in Africa, It's called Uziman or something. I have written the book, I forgot the name. When they did his genetics, his body is still preserved in Germany. They found, 3,000 years old, 3,000 BC means 3,000 plus to 5,000 old. This Iceman had certain things in his tummy which said that he was kind of from this region, Himalayan region, because his tummy, his disease, the H. pylori, there's a thing which I have mentioned. They were all representing he might have come from this part of the land, right? So that eating habit, that way of life. So nothing to do with any religion or culture. So I've covered all those things to your question. I've not tackled it from a religion perspective, but more on a people and anthropology. So yeah.
My question has nothing to do with religion. I am telling about this Sanatan, which of course later on Hindus, so-called Hindus, claimed it as theirs. I mean, I do not know whether that is correct or, I mean, I am not going into that question at all. I am telling, as per this particular book which I have read, they say that he is telling us about Hindu this thing. He is telling that I am even prepared to read that area. I mean, I will suggest that every one of you should read that book. It is such an illuminating, though he is a scientist, it is, anybody can read it. I am not a scientist, so, but I have read it and I find it particularly very interesting book. So it has gone into the origin of
Absolutely, Cosmos. Even Pale Blue Dot.
Yes, that is a book. Anyway, so there I found this extract that
amazing.
Hinduism has gone into this question.
Absolutely.
I am again subject to corruption. You may call it Sanatan or whatever it is, but it has gone into this question about origin of universe.
Origin of the universe, which is essentially the context here.
Yes, yes. And the chronology of events according to Hindu, I mean the Sanatan,
yes,
and the modern science, they tally.
So I have covered origin of life in this book.
Okay.
So you should read how from the amino acid we developed, whether we came from stone or we came from some germ. Even I have covered that, because when 4.5 billion before Earth was formed and 13 billion